The following video is for educational purposes only, based on publicly available information. It is not legal advice, and all opinions expressed are our own. Viewer discretion is advised. Introduction. In this episode, we are covering the case of Gregory Kioko and Chirchir and Chirchir Kibet versus Safaricom Limited, where the claimants filed a suit over alleged unfair termination tied to a disputed training contract. Let's find out what the court decided and what HR practices could have helped avoid this situation. The storyline. In September 2016, Gregory Mwendwa Kioko and Jebichi Chirchir and Justus Sang Kibet applied for the position of Customer Experience Executive at Safaricom, following an advertisement outlining the qualifications and responsibilities. After completing the recruitment process, which included digital assessments, competency tests, interviews, and a medical examination, the claimants believed they were being hired as full-time employees. However, on November 14, 2016, they received a congratulatory letter, followed by a second letter the next day that outlined an 8-week training program instead of a formal job offer, with a stipend of 25,000 Kenyan shillings per month. The claimants were asked to sign the training agreement under pressure, claiming they did so under duress. The claimants, who had expected employment following the recruitment process, were instead presented with a training opportunity which they felt misled them. They were required to undergo training on Safaricom's products, services, and systems, with the understanding that their performance would be evaluated at the end of the training to determine employment eligibility. However, after only 10 days, Safaricom terminated their training, citing the unsuitability of their credentials without providing specific reasons or documentation. The claimants argued that this termination, coupled with the lack of proper evaluation, violated their rights and amounted to unfair dismissal, leading them to file a lawsuit in February 2017. In court, the claimants argued that the recruitment process, the congratulatory letter, and the subsequent change in terms from employment to training amounted to a breach of trust and unfair dismissal. They claimed they were coerced into signing the training agreement, which undermined their labor rights. Safaricom defended itself, asserting that the training was clearly communicated as a non-employment opportunity and that the claimants voluntarily signed the agreement, which included a termination clause with a 5-day notice. The court's proceedings focused on whether the claimants had entered into an employment contract or a training agreement, and whether they had been coerced into signing, with the outcome depending on the interpretation of the recruitment process and the nature of the training agreement. The judgment. Court's verdict. The court ruled that the claimants were not employees but trainees. As the signed contract explicitly stated, it was a training opportunity. Award to claimants. The suit was dismissed and no compensation was granted. Key legal principles. The court emphasized the importance of written agreements in defining the nature of a relationship. Trainees are not automatically employees unless explicitly defined as such. Key facts about the case. Key learnings from the case. Transparency in recruitment. Clearly outline the terms of engagement, distinguishing between training and employment opportunities. Contractual clarity. Ensure contracts align with advertised roles and avoid last-minute modifications. Fair termination practices. Provide clear reasons for termination to avoid allegations of procedural unfairness. Best practices for organizations. Use consistent communication to avoid misleading candidates. Train HR teams on compliance with labor laws, particularly regarding contract transparency and fair labor practices. Key lessons for HR professionals. Establish clear processes for transitioning candidates from training to employment. Avoid potential claims of duress by allowing candidates sufficient time to review and understand contracts. Conclusion. To recap, this case highlights the importance of transparency, fairness, and legal compliance in recruitment and training processes. Misaligned expectations can lead to costly disputes and reputational risks. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. Share your insights on how organizations can better handle similar situations in the comments below. If you found this discussion helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more HR insights and employment law breakdowns.